Riot MMO monetization. The Riot MMO, I feel like they're probably not going to make the game pay to win. What do you guys think? Do you think that they'll make the Riot MMO pay to win? I feel like it's not going to happen. Purely speculative? We'll see. Let's watch this video.
There aren't too many MMORPGs that require a subscription fee nowadays, with the main two being Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, which are both titans of the genre. They're huge. Now,
I think that Ashes of Creation is also going to be a sub fee as well.
Hard to believe, but there was a time when paying monthly via a subscription was the norm for most MMORPGs, and free-to-play was the alien, unproven concept that no one wanted to try, at least for us MMO gamers in the West. It had been a thing in the East, in Korea MMOs for quite a while.
Games being free-to-play, if there was ever a game that was free-to-play and you heard it was free-to-play, you knew the game was bad. That was like, oh, it's free-to-play game. Oh, okay, never mind then.
Well, today we do know better, and the free-to-play experiment that really picked up steam in the mid to late 2000s has absolutely proven itself to be a far better business model, a far more profitable business model than the traditional method of just selling the game, which was the
reason why it's gotten a lot better, people prefer free-to-play more, is because games are no longer the guaranteed high-quality product that they used to be. So, for example, nobody has a problem spending money for Elden Ring, but people do have a problem spending money for other games because they're usually unproven garbage. Or you buy it. It's like the Cyberpunk, right? You spend $50, $70 on this game, and it's cock-ass garbage.
Back then, as I say, it's so much better that many of the highest performing video games now use that free-to-play model. And many other games have been forced to adopt this model, even if they didn't want to.
That's exactly right. They have to be free to play because having to spend money just to play the game is such a massive barrier to entry. And you know what I think actually does it the best is Final Fantasy XIV, is because they let you get your free trial. They let you play whenever you think about it. Going all the way through Heaven's Ward is fucking huge. Like, you're getting at least 100 hours of gameplay. So it's like at that point, if you're not going to buy the game, I mean, that's the way it goes. Yeah, compare that to WoW or whatever.
Star Wars: The Old Republic launched in December of 2011 and moved to a free-to-play model less than a year later in November of 2012. News outlets at the time were reporting that this was due to low subscriber numbers, which painted a pretty bleak picture for the game. However, EA put out an earning report just 6 months later, stating that their average monthly revenue had doubled since it went free-to-play.
Yeah, exactly, because there's a lot of people that, like, they can't spend, like, you guys know this, like, if you're poor, if you've been poor before, you know this. You have $5, but you don't have $50. You have $15, but you don't have $70 or $60. That's just a fact. And like, the thing is also, a lot of those people, I'm going to be honest, I was one of them. We made bad decisions with our money. So you can get a dumbass to fucking spend $5 easily, but they're never going to have the 50 to give you the 50 in the first place, because before they get to the 50, they're going to already spend it whenever they get to 5. You never get there. That's it. They get it twisted. Exactly. And so that's why these games make a lot of money, is that a lot of times people that are making these small transactions are either kids or people that make bad money decisions. And it's easier to make a bad money decision with a smaller amount of money because more people that make bad decisions have smaller amounts of money than big amounts of money. I wonder how that makes sense.
It wasn't just Star Wars either. Lord of the Rings Online had pretty much the same experience, but they had a 400% increase in players.
Jesus.
And that also led to their monthly revenue doubling when they went free to play.
Oh my God.
Now, this is great for business, don't get me wrong, but it's not always so great for us as players. There are some downsides that seem to constantly appear in games that use the free to play model. And these
like, I don't entirely agree with that. Like, Warzone is free to play and the game is amazing. It's amazing as free to play. Let's see, besides Warzone, Fortnite. Fortnite is free to play. It's amazing. Fall Guys, I think, is free to play. It's amazing. League of Legends is amazing. Apex. You don't have to make a game pay to win. You can just have the game be good. Yeah, there are millions, not millions, there are dozens of really, really good games that are free to play that the free to play nature of them does not ruin the experience.
Downsides are often referred to collectively by us as pay to win, or to a lesser extent, pay to progress. MMO
Pay to progress is pay to win. It's pay to win. The only difference is people that are on copium say pay to progress. People that are not fucking delusional just say it's pay to win. They're the same thing. Now, I will say this is only for endgame. Buying a story skip or a level boost, I don't really care about it that much. But I mean, progress in endgame.
MMOs, even sub-based ones, aren't shy about advertising services that benefit the player
No, it's
in
a
some
button
way.
on the bar.
And because MMOs usually have a ton of different activities that you can do, this also creates a ton of opportunities for the developer to make money from you in the
It's crazy to think about how many of those fucking things they have now, like all the pets. Because like a moonkin hatchling, for example, they made that shit like fucking 10 years ago, and people are still buying it. It's like you plant a tree, and every year the tree has fruit. It's like an infinite fruit tree.
form of
That's
microtransactions.
still $10.
Things like buying in-game currency with real-life money,
It's a shit
weapon
tree,
skins,
Randy,
armor
true.
skins, mounts, mount skins, pets, toys, character slots, race changes, buying levels, emotes, convenience items, the ability to get married with another character in-game. Final Fantasy does this. In-game houses.
There's a free version of this, though? Yeah, that's called being married at the local Walmart. Yeah, I mean, I've been to the marriages in Final Fantasy. There's a lot of these. It's pretty fucking crazy whenever you think about the amount of money that people spend on this shit, man. It's nuts. And Hanging at Space, yeah. Holy fuck, man.
Stuffed animals for your in-game house, furniture for your house,
Hey, that's
crafting
my-
materials,
there he
upgrade
is.
materials. There's so much that they can sell you. And it's not like I even
Surprised they only
thought
have one
hard
example
about
from
that
Lost
list.
Ark.
It took me about 30 seconds.
Oh my god, I just realized.
And it's not like I even thought
That's the sword that she was given by Uberdanger in Stormblood. Damn, I didn't know that shit.
hard about that list. It took me about 30 seconds
How
to
about
put that
that?
together. And some of those are just off the top of my head. It's
a
not
lot.
even in the script. Now, you can argue that most of that, if not all of it, is
a whole
optional,
lot.
okay? And you never need to spend a penny on any of it. That is true. But studios need to make their money somehow.
Never need to spend
And
money.
those that go free to play have to rely entirely on these microtransactions to keep their business running, which
course.
can create some very
Common
aggressive
sense.
monetization strategies
course.
that can pretty much ruin an otherwise good game. Lost Ark and Diablo Immortal are two very recent and obvious examples of good games being brought down by their invasion.
Lost Ark is a good game. Diablo Immortal sucks. It is a shit game.
Invasive monetization strategies, which, whilst you don't have to spend the money, you'll want to if you want to enjoy the
Right.
game and get the most out
If you
of
want
it.
to be a winner.
Other games
Winners
are a bit
spend
less
money.
aggressive, such as Final Fantasy XIV, which is almost entirely cosmetic based, and there's no need to spend additional money to enjoy the game in a reasonable capacity, as content isn't gated behind these microtransactions, like Lost Ark with its upgrade system. Now, back in 2014, Pete Hines, the marketing lead for Elder Scrolls Online, attempted to justify their subscription fee by stating that it allowed the development team to focus 100% on content creation. And if they
Yeah, I've heard that before.
had chosen free to play instead, then a portion of the development resources would be spent on creating cosmetics for the store and not on content for the game. Now, Elder Scrolls dropped their sub
not
fee
you,
model
sorry.
just over a year after release, and today the game has a microtransaction store with everything from loot boxes, mounts, pets, houses, furniture, crafting tools, bank space upgrades.
It's sad, right? Because I don't like this. Like I wish that you could just pay a sub and you just play the game and that's it. No bullshit. No clown ass garbage. You just pay the sub, play the game. There it is. You go to the store, game's $50, buy the game. Come back home, play the game. Oh, what? Imagine that. Yeah, okay, boomer. Good fucking shot doing that nowadays. Boring? Yeah. There's no microtransaction boxes because it doesn't work. It clearly does work because you have games that use this same thing. Like the God of War, Elden Ring, the Mario games. It's not impossible to do this.
Face paint, armor sets, and so on.
It's annoying.
A lot of these smaller things in there cost around £6, but the things that you care about, like mounts or player houses,
100?
can set you back as much as 3,000 or 15,000 crowns.
I wish that it was against the law to have an alternate currency. I really hate this shit. I think that they should make it to where, like, they have the actual dollar value of the item, and there is no fucking third currency that obfuscates the amount of money you're spending. I fucking hate that, and I wish it was just like you were, like, legally obligated to say exactly how much money it was, because I think that you can make an argument that it is misleading the customer. I think that you absolutely can. Never gonna happen. But that's what fuck you, dude.
Respectively. Now, of course, you can't buy 15,000 crowns, so you have to buy the 21,000 crown bundle, which will set you back a total of 110 real-life pounds to get that player house. At least you'll have some crowns left over to buy some furniture, because that player house doesn't come furnished. Guild Wars 2
I feel like this is like whenever you go to the fucking, you go to the car dealership, and they're like, yeah, so I saw you're selling the Toyota Corolla, and it's for 11 grand? Like, yeah. Well, this one's 11 grand, it doesn't have the steering wheel in it. Oh, okay, all right, give me a minute. I gotta talk to the manager. We've got to get a special, we've got another guy here, it's looking for the steering wheel package for the car. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be 17 grand. Yeah, steering wheel's expert. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you want it with a radio. Oh, just give me a minute. I've got to work with my man. I've got to work with my boss on this. I'll go to bat for you. Jesus. Oh, you want wheels? Seatbelt, huh? Okay, all right. So this is a big spender. Well, that's going to be extra, okay? Holy fuck, man.
Similar with its approach to cosmetics, but most outfits are about 700 gems, which will set you back around £8.50 real life money.
Jesus.
With the most sought after items being around 1,600, which will cost you about £17 real life money, which by comparison doesn't seem so bad. I ripped on Guild Wars 2 in a previous video of mine. Comparatively, Guild Wars 2 is looking pretty good.
I hate how these companies have actually successfully anchored the minds of the gamers. You have successfully anchored a mount to be $20 and like pets to be $5. I feel like there are so many people that are, oh, it's only $17 for the mount. Bitch, it's a line of code. Like, it's a line of, like, there's no anchoring of this. Like, you know what I mean? It's only $17. Oh, it's on sale. I'm getting it for free, basically. I'd be losing money if I didn't buy this. How have so many people been anchored? Fuck!
Other MMOs also restrict players from key features unless you engage in that cash shop. Lord of the Rings, as I spoke about earlier, for example, requires you to spend real-life money to use mounts and increase your gold cap from a measly baseline of 2 gold. Star Wars does something similar, but it's far more generous.
I think that if you have a monthly optional sub the same as the Crystalline Aura, the Final Fantasy sub, or something like that, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Because you're like, you have to expect that people will... I think that it is unreasonable to expect to play a game for free. I do. I think that it's unreasonable for that. So you should have some way that people spend money. That's how most things in the world work. Clothes, cost to produce, almost it never equals cost to buy. Yeah, of course.
With a cap of 1 million credits, which is enough to get you most of the things you want.
Pokemon card game,
although Star Wars does restrict content in other ways, such as rewarding you with less credits overall if you're not a subscriber. They don't allow you to quick travel as often. They restrict how often you can take part in PvP and a few other things like that. So how does this all compare to what we know about Riot? Well, to date, Riot have focused almost entirely on optional cosmetics and have not yet implemented any monetization systems in League or Valorant that make it feel necessary to spend your money.
You guys agree with that? I'm not a big League player, but I play Valorant. Like, I think Valorant's fucking awesome. I should play that more on stream even. Yeah, that's true. Okay. I mean, I think that people look like, the thing is nowadays Riot, I feel like Riot and From Software, like the reputation Blizzard used to have was like a mix between Riot and From Software. And like now those two companies have like an aggregate of the way that people felt about Blizzard. So yeah, I think that I mean there's a chance that this won't happen, but I don't know. I mean I've said before, right? It's like Ghostcrawler, Greg Street. He's one of the main guys working on Riot, their MMO. He said he'd be willing to come on Allcraft whenever he's got more stuff to talk about. I can't wait for that. I'm so fucking excited, and I'm really excited to see what they're gonna bring out too, because I think that he probably feels the same way. But the problem is that like whenever you have to make decisions like this, like he doesn't get to make that decision. The accounting and like the executive department makes the decision on how they're going to monetize the game, and then it just kind of goes down and he has to make the decision. Like there are exceptions like fucking like Final Fantasy with like Yoshi P, but Yoshi P doesn't have a 100% say. He just has a much bigger say than other companies.
You could argue that new champions in League or agents in Valorant are exactly that, but the reality is they're pretty easy to unlock by just playing the game for a few hours.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They also don't really go overboard with what they can monetize, pretty much just sticking to putting skins on things that don't impact the integrity of the game, even though they could easily go further with this. Dota 2, as an example, sells plenty of terrain skins that makes it easier to see past through trees, and Counter-Strike sells skins for their characters, which give you an advantage in the game, which is not good for a competitive
Is that
esport. True? And it's not just
Bro,
Valve.
I've never heard that. Is that real or not? Like, I don't know if that's true. Like, yeah, I never heard of that ever. Not a problem anymore? Okay.
As Rainbow Six Siege had a similar issue with their Ember Rise and Elite skin lines. There's a person in this screenshot. It's very hard to tell when you're playing the game in the moment.
What was that fucking skin in Warzone? Rose? That annoying fucking, like, GIMP outfit? Oh my god, that was fucking annoying. It was so hard being able to shoot people with that. Fuck, man. It makes me mad just thinking about it. I remember every time, was it Courage that would get killed by somebody with that skin and he'd get mad? Oh my god. It was that one, and then also it was the fucking, what was the other one? The ghillie suit in BDO was super fucking annoying as well. I hated that.
Now, Riot are yet to make these same mistakes with League or Valorant.
That's
and this
true.
gives me a lot of confidence that whatever we do get from them will have a minimal impact to the quality of the game. As an MMO, they seem to care about the quality and integrity of their games. Now,
be encouraged to take the time to get it right? So we build something worthy of expectations. Would kill the game in a heartbeat rather than have us ship something inauthentic or rushed. Well, that's the thing is like they know this is something that's like super important. Is like nowadays they know that if you release a game and it's not good, the game is never good. For every No Man's Sky, you have a million games. Like Cyberpunk 2077 is probably. Like, anybody's played it recently? It's probably workable nowadays, right? It's probably not that bad of a game. Yeah, it's good now, but who cares? But who cares? It sucks. The game sucks. When it came out, it sucked. It's a bad game. Game sucks. That's all there is to it. It's a shit game. That's it. So, yeah, you have to make sure it's right the first time.
The downside here is that Riot does have a history of charging large sums of money for tokens that can then be exchanged for those cosmetics, which in my opinion is a pretty insidious way of tricking people into spending their money, as it's harder to keep track of what you're spending over time.
Again, bro, I think that shit should just be straight up illegal. Like, you should not even be able to do that. No reason for it at all.
However, it's industry norm. Everyone does it, so I can't really fault Riot Games for this in particular.
It is. However, it's industry norm because it works. Because obfuscating the amount of money that somebody spends is always a good idea. Casinos, don't casinos do this with like the tokens and shit?
But they do run their skins on limited availability, which preys on that feeling of missing out, right? Because someone will have a skin line that you don't have and you can't buy it anymore. So it makes you want to spend your money on something that you might not even wear, which I have done plenty of times, let's be honest. Now, just to give you an example of this, as I recall...
I cannot believe, like, why do people do this? Like, I don't understand. Like, whenever, like, FOMO, like, what the fuck do you mean FOMO? Are you fucking stupid? Like, it's a skin for a gun. You just spend real money on the gun. You get it. Who gives a fuck? Like, I remember I did this, like, I was hoping one day, like, it's like you get the boxes whenever you level up in Apex or, like, fucking, what's the other one, Overwatch, and like, you get the box, but, like, I never felt, like, I bought the 200 boxes for the stream content that one day. I never went and I bought the rest of the boxes for the Wraith, the knife. Why would I do that? Why? Like, it's just, it doesn't mean anything. It's so weird. I don't understand. I don't understand it.
For this video, Valorant has the Xeno Hunter set available for purchase within the store, and as cool as these skins are, they are very cool. The entire bundle, which consists of 4 guns and a knife, cost 7,100 Valorant points. That's like, meaning you'd have to buy the £90 bundle in order to acquire this set of 4 guns. Yep. Now, there are 17 guns in the game total, so you're looking at hundreds of pounds before you have skins for all of them. League skins, by comparison, are much cheaper than Valorant, but there are far more characters to buy skins for, and generally more things to spend your money on, such as rune pages, clash tickets, chromas, loot boxes, little legends, battle passes, and whatever else is there in the League client. There's tons of stuff. You could even buy temporary skins in ARAM. Now, acquiring skins for your guns and characters is... I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Like, why? What are you... Like, it's better than pay to win, though? It is definitely better than pay to win. It's 800% better than pay to win. You can earn them in game for free. Like, I would buy skins and get skins with the in-game currency, but I would never spend money to get them. It's weird. It's completely optional and does not impact the gameplay negatively, at least in my opinion. So many of you may argue that this is not a problem. But as we've seen with other MMOs that we've spoken about already in this video, games that rely primarily on cash shops for their money often leads to cosmetics in the store that far outshine those that you can earn in the game. No shit, because they're going to sell for more money. Well, there's a bunch of convenience items that solve problems which shouldn't be problems in the first place, which I don't personally want. Guild Wars 2 is really bad at this. So what do I think we'll get? Well, it's tough to answer this. I've spoken to a few people, and they just say it will be like League and Valorant with tons of cosmetics. That's what I'm hoping for. MMOs are nothing like those games. The player experience is far more personal. You play the same character in an expansive world for several years, not just for 40 minutes or 15 minutes if you're me in a game of League. I have the High Noon skin on 7 of my characters in League, and if they release a High Noon set for the MMO, I'm going to buy it. But I'm only going to buy it once, because I play 1 character, not 7. So where does this leave Riot, a company who has, through the sale of cosmetics, found themselves at the top, arguably, of the gaming world? Do they do what they do with Valorant and try to get players to spend £90 on 1 skin? Or do they progressively make better skins that supersede the old ones, so you spend another £90 on another skin? I think that what they're going to do, the main thing that I'm worried about with the Riot MMO is that they're going to have a version of the WoW token. Because, like, OSRS has this, Lost Ark has this, WoW has this. It's becoming the industry standard. Is that, like, you are able to buy gold and then sell it. And they're going to do it under the guise of, oh, well, we can't be expected to to enforce our TOS. You're going to have to spend real money. That's what I think is going to happen. I doubt they'd have it on release. No, they'll add it in. This is the thing. This is what these MMOs do. This is what I would do if I was Riot. Is I would get everybody addicted to the game, get them invested into the game, then you start milking them. Because you don't milk them right from the beginning because they're not invested. But by the time that they've already spent like 100, 200 hours into the game, oh, well, now you're going to get a lot of money out of them. No, I don't think that's realistic. Yeah. I think what is far more likely is that they will monetize more than just cosmetics. And that is why it's so hard to know what we'll get. I mentioned earlier that Riot seemed to avoid monetizing anything that compromises the integrity of their game. It's the reason we don't have skins for Valorant Agents or skins for the Rift in League. Sure, it would make a ton of money, but the game would be worse for it, as it would erode what those games are. It creates a gap in the player experience, which in a competitive game is not what you want.
No, you can't have that.
As close as possible. And as we've seen in this video, the vast majority of stuff that's in microtransaction shops for MMOs, and I'm yet to see one that doesn't do this, restricts the game in some manner in order to justify the sale of the solution, therefore eroding what that game is.
That's right. Yes, it provides a profit incentive for a game to be inconvenient. That's the biggest problem with like things that are convenience features that you spend money for. Is like at this point now it's in your best interest to make or keep the game inconvenient.
Whatever it might be, the game is worse for it when that stuff is in the cash shop.
Yes.
And not just in the game anyway.
Because there's no incentive for them to change it.
So this is Riot's problem to solve. We don't want £90 skins in our MMO.
No.
And we don't want £30 Unbreakable Gathering tools in our MMO either. Or even £8 ride-in licenses so you can have something as
the problem is that like people don't want anything. Nobody wants anything that you can spend money on in an MMO. So it's basically like a pick your poison. You're either choosing to make a game pay to win, with like different cosmetics instead, or with like a subscription or something like that. One way or another, they're going to get money out of you. And I don't find this to be like, as I said, I wish that we could just go back to the days of fucking subscriptions. But we're never going to be able to do that because there's too many free-to-play games. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. You can farm riding skill in Lord of the Rings for 3 hours. I have no idea.
As a mount. So what can they do? It's a tough problem to solve.
Yeah.
But there is quite an easy solution here. At least I think so.
No.
And that is the subscription fee. Now look, I know they haven't worked in the vast majority of cases, but hear me out here. The talent in Riot...
But there's the one time... No, bro. But this time... Listen... No, it's gonna work this time for sure, 100%. The problem is like, see, here's the thing with subscriptions, is that like now we back in the day we had Netflix, now we've got Hulu, we've got fucking Paramount Plus, we've got Disney Plus, we've got HBO Max, we've got Amazon Prime Video, we have YouTube Red, we have all these fucking things, every Apple TV, you've got like, this is like, there's too many.
MMO team is extraordinary. So I do believe that whatever is released, whatever game comes from this, it will be a good game. I believe that wholeheartedly. I have no doubt in that. Riot also have very little shareholder pressures, so I don't think the game will be forced out early or unfinished.
I don't think that's necessarily true in terms of impacting the integrity of a game. Lost Ark is also not a publicly traded company. Smilegate is not. Now, it is an indicator, but not a guarantee.
So not only will I think it will be a good game, I think it will be a relatively complete game to a high standard of quality. Mm-hmm. Riot is also a huge brand with loyal, albeit sometimes toxic, fan base, and who will, at the very least, think about downloading and playing the MMO. Outside of that Riot fan base, there is a huge community of MMO gamers who are ready for something new, and they're looking for a shake-up in the genre, something new to try. So much so, the games like Lost Ark, which are known to be predatory in their monetization, were hyped up before release. Now, these MMO players, for the most part, are used to paying a subscription fee as well, whether that's World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy, just to play the game, or if it's something like a VIP type system.
I actually find that to be a reason why not to have a subscription. Because it's like the Netflix thing was not a problem. Like now, people don't have a problem paying for one subscription. People do have a problem paying for 5. So you've probably got somebody nowadays, like an average person, an average consumer, is going to have, well, let's see, they've got their Netflix subscription. They've got, let's see, besides Netflix, they got, maybe a WoW subscription or Final Fantasy subscription. They've got, like 3 OnlyFans accounts that they're buying. They're subscribed to somebody on Twitch. They've got Spotify. Maybe they've got Amazon Prime. And so you've got like all this money and you're just getting your money eaten away. So it's like every single time that they add in another one, it becomes overwhelming.
We see in Elder Scrolls Online, Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings. And finally, it's Riot. And it's an MMO. The hype for this thing will be and is already huge. And if anyone can get away with charging a subscription fee, it's going to be Riot Game. Now, as much as I'm an advocate for it, I actually do not think that we'll get a subscription
Yeah, I
fee.
don't think so either.
Riot have mastered the free-to-play model over the past decade, and I'd be surprised to see them step away from it. Even an upfront box price would surprise me, I think.
It's going to be
far more like
it's going to be free to play. It's going to have cosmetics, and they're probably going to add a WoW token later on. Like, that's what I think it's going to be.
At least in my opinion anyway, is a seasonal battle pass type system where you progress through 50 or so levels by completing in-game missions, like defeat 5 dungeons, kill a certain boss, win some PvP matches, you know, things like that. The rewards in that battle pass would range from character cosmetics, pets, mounts, skins, emotes, toys, and also currency for a dedicated cash shop. I think that cash shop will have limited runs of skinline bundles similar to Valorant, which you can buy unlocking, say, a High Noon set that consists of the armor, weapon skins, as well as some maybe emotes and pets and things like that. I would guess these things would be around the £30 mark and probably change each season. Putting from
this is what Lost Ark does, and it's what WoW is doing now too. Like, this is a norm.
Skin lines that they already know are successful in League, like Battle Academia or the Anima Squad, Star Guardian, High Noon, the Ashen Knight stuff, you know, things like that. They've got so much to pull from and deliver that I think it would be bizarre for them not to sell skins on those lines there. So anyway, what are your thoughts?
They have to. Like, people love this shit. Like, they do. Like, I mean, girls buy it because it's cute, and guys buy it because they're simps. Like, it's just, it's that simple.
Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Put them in the comments down below. If you don't have any thoughts at all, then just throw an emoji down there, as it tells YouTube that you enjoyed the video, and it helps the channel grow. So you'd be doing me a huge favor by doing that. I also do try to respond to all comments, so I'll see you down there. Anyway,
it's a good video.
As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Decent enough video. I liked it. I mean, this guys, he's only got 2,000 subscribers. I've never watched a video from him before, but listen, this is a pretty good video, especially for somebody who's just starting out with YouTube. If you liked it, make sure to give him a sub, give it a like. It's a big deal, you know, especially that early on, to give somebody some support. Yeah, I think this is actually very well done. I would have expected something like this from somebody who has like 100 or 200K subscribers at least, right? And that's a lot smaller than what I was thinking. Exactly. And so, yeah, I think that's what you hit the nail on the head. What's this?
Because I'm an advocate for it. I actually...
Oh, about being realistic. Yeah, true. It's a pretty hard topic. MMOs are so different compared to the games Riot's previously monetized. Like, do you guys agree with me? Yeah, I'll sub. Okay. Do you guys agree with me that, like, it's probably going to be free to play with cosmetics, and they'll probably add a WoW token or some form of, like, gold exchange that they get a cut of later on? Like, I think that's what's going to happen. I feel pretty confident that's what's going to happen. Now, am I 100% sure about this? I have no idea, but I do think that there's a good chance of it happening. The WoW token, yeah, there's a real chance it's just a monthly sub. If it is a monthly sub, I will be very surprised, but I would be happy if that was the case. I think that a monthly sub would be the most ideal situation for me, but I don't really think it's going to happen, if that makes sense. Yeah, I have no idea. Premium price cosmetics. I don't know. They still have plenty of time to invent new and disgusting forms of monetization. That's actually a really good point. Is that, like, there could be a new type of monetization that hasn't even been invented yet that they're going to try to use, and it's going to be worse than anything that we've ever seen. I can't wait. It's going to be super exciting. I actually saw something, speaking of you know, different things that are disgusting and weird. I would go ahead and look and show you guys this other video, and I wanted to watch this. I saw it yesterday, and it's time for me to actually watch it. People probably would rather pay $100 a month whenever they like to than being forced to pay $15 every month. I think so too. Yeah, people don't want to get locked into something. I'm going to link this video one more time because, again, it's a smaller content creator. It matters a lot for these guys whenever we give support to their videos. So make sure to do that as much as you can.